What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of The Spectators. It is our 1 year anniversary today. So me, Brooklyn, and Alejandro got together a couple of weeks ago, and we really just went through memory lane, got some nostalgia in, and we had a lot of fun making an episode a little offbeat and off the beaten path to what we normally do. We hope you guys enjoy it, and if you do, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. Follow us on all the socials, all that good stuff. And thank you everybody that has been rocking with us this last year. It's year one in the books, many more to come.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Spectators. I'm Brooklyn. I'm here with my boy Ju. What's poppin', bro?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're gonna take the fans back on a little trip down memory lane.
Yeah, a little nostalgia action.
A little wholesome episode for you. A little wholesome episode for you. We got somebody in the cut waiting for you. So go ahead, show yourself.
Reveal yourself, sir.
We got one of the founders. We got one of the founders of The Spectators.
Where he at?
Got the man behind the scenes.
Where he at?
Go check out thespectatorsports.com, the man responsible for all that. Welcome to The Spectators.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's been really long. Excited to be back.
All of our day one fans are going to like this.
It's been a wild ride. A crazy ride.
It has.
It's been 4 years, Julian?
Something like that, yeah. I think about 4.
To clarify, it's not that we haven't seen each other in 4 years. It's just I haven't been an episode for 4 years.
You guys haven't seen him.
That is a good clarification.
Yeah, that's a good clarification.
I think one of our last episodes that you and I made together was the national championship for Clemson and Alabama, the very first one.
Yes.
The first one. The
2016
Deshaun Watson.
One. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson lost that one. Yeah.
I think that's the last episode we made.
Yeah, and then we even put that on YouTube.
Yep, if you want to go re-listen to that, go hit up the YouTube.
Yeah, there are still some remnants available, so go check.
Hit that subscribe button too. Don't forget.
Yeah, subscribe.
But
like.
so for everybody who doesn't know or has not met Alejandro, this is Alejandro. He is one of our really good friends from high school. I think we all met around freshman year of high school, more or less, right?
Something like that.
So we were like
I can tell you exactly when I met Brooklyn.
Yeah.
When did you meet
Freshman year, Bloomingdale High School, Miss Cruz, Algebra 1. I think you sat either behind me or like the row next to me. But that's when I first met you, bro.
Yeah, we were in the facility right there.
Yeah, right there.
Miss Cruz,
in that area, bro.
If you listen to this,
Miss Cruz.
Shout out. That's all we got to say. Shout out.
Yep.
Fun times.
And then with me and Alejandro, we met actually at a quinceañera.
Mm-hmm.
We met at
Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica Alvarez. If you're listening, shout out.
Jessica, hey Jess.
Shout out.
Hey,
you're doing great as a teacher.
Yeah, she's a teacher now, so that's really cool. And we met at your quinceañera. So when you were a youngin', and we were all really young at that point. And we're all 23, 24 now, which is kind of wild.
Crazy.
Crazy.
All right, so it's been about 10 years almost.
That's crazy.
We have all known each other.
10 years.
It went by really quick too, and
yeah.
So we've all known each other for a while, and throughout high school, me and Alejandro have kind of done a lot of like endeavor kind of deals where he's always been one of the guys behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
When I started like sewing and like selling clothes, he was involved with that, and we tried to make a website back then. Didn't really work, but we tried.
Dang, we really tried to make a website for that. It was hard. I had no clue what I was doing.
It was hard, and we were trying to like sell stuff without like having other people make it. It was really tough, so we never really figured that out. It's
what an
okay.
endeavor.
Never too late. We tried to be Vine famous.
R.I.P. Vine, man.
R.I.P. Vine.
It worked for a little second. We had a few videos pop off for no reason.
Actually, there was a reason. The content.
Some of them, good content. That's why. Some of them live rent free in my head, as like sleep terror. I hear a boom, clap, as a get out
Oh
me
yeah.
mom's car
They
in
get
my
out
head.
of mom's car. Yep.
Room.
Oh man. We used your puppies.
Oh yeah.
We used them for
yeah.
clickbait. Oh no.
Oh, we did, and it worked. Oh,
And it
did.
worked. It did. That was actually one of the videos that kind of popped off. That's crazy.
Right.
I love it.
And so we've done that together, and you know we've all been pretty close for pretty much since we've all met at a pretty young age again. So me and Alejandro, again, we had worked together on stuff in the past, and we hung out a lot before I went off to college. And obviously it was hard. I'm over 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
But when I would come back in the winter and the summer, we would all of us would always get back together. And in that very first winter that I came back, we decided that we wanted to do a sports podcast because, at least for me, being in sports journalism was something I've always wanted to do. And what better way to kind of get experience than kind of just get in front of a mic and just kind of do the thing and like get practicing, get the nerves out, get used to talking. And I reached out to you and I was like, hey, this is something I'm interested in doing. Would you like to do it with me? Says absolutely.
That was a big yes. Yeah.
And so we would you would come over here, the same room, I think. No.
Right. That
yeah,
same
yeah.
room. It was that room, yeah.
And we would set up on your laptop or my laptop or whoever's we were using at the time. And we didn't have a mic. We used to use this mic right here.
Oh yeah, we'd have to hold it. We'd have to hang it
right here,
right in
and
front
we
of
used
us,
to like wrap it around something,
close.
so it would like stand in between us, and we had to get like really close. So
we're head to head, bro. We're lucky there was no coronavirus back then.
Right?
We were right next to each other.
Not wearing masks.
Nope.
Not wearing masks.
And so yeah, we were just next to each other. We actually had this file cabinet as like a stand to hold stuff up with. I know that's kind of how me and Brooklyn did stuff too. At the very beginning when we were together recording these episodes.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that I would text you like the day before, here's your homework. This is what you got to watch. This is what you got to look for.
Yep.
And next day we would come in and just do exactly what we're doing now pretty much. We would do it all in one take for the most part. Nonsense would happen because Florida.
Nonsense
so
would happen. We would try so hard to do everything in one take because editing just doesn't work.
Yeah. And now we're better at all that. Editing does work now. Like we actually figured that out a little bit.
We kind of know what we're doing now.
At least we pretend we do, right?
Yeah.
This text message that you sent over 3 years ago, 4 years now, I think, maybe. And one little text message has led to this right now. Like this moment. It's been a long time coming, but you gotta look at where we're at right now. We've got a whole website, got a whole
There's
logo.
a lot of things along the way.
There's a lot brewing. YouTube channel. Remember, Julian, I remember we were talking about, hey, we got to start a YouTube channel. It'll really help. I was like, how are we going to do it? We can just put a picture of our logo and then put our audio. That's what we did. And now, like, we're going to try to obviously continue making more videos to add to YouTube to create more content for the fans and keep expanding. So, I mean, it's been a slow, like, progress, but it's still progress. We've been doing great. You guys have been killing it. I am the behind the scenes guy, but you guys have been doing it. These podcasts are amazing. I'm happy to be here right now. I'm enjoying this right now.
And there was a big break in between you guys' last episode and when we
big break.
And
brought everything back.
And so what wound up happening is since we would record together and we didn't have mics, like I have 2 of these now and we have like our webcams and all that, which we still got to get you a mic, but we're working on that. We're working on that. But I went back to school, and so I was back in Oregon. You stayed here. You were doing your thing at school, working hard. And without mics and without, like, actual, like, editing knowledge, we just kind of figured, well, we'll wait until I come back, and we'll do it again. And then, months pass by. I think it's like 6-7 months. And I finally come back and it's like, well, it's been 6-7 months. And it kind of just like, I don't know if we forgot about it. I don't think that's really what it was. I think it was just like, do we really want to do this for 2 months out of the year?
Yeah. When you're back. See, I feel like the timing was just never correct. It was just never the right timing to do everything. Cause either you're in Oregon or when you got back, there was a point I was just working 2 jobs every day. So it's just like timings never work out. But like in the long run, everything kind of turned out the way it was supposed to be, because like I couldn't always be there to do videos and podcasts. And then Brooklyn, he showed up. Now he's right there co-hosting the podcast. So
and it's crazy how that happened, because like me and Drew always play PlayStation. Hondro does too. Like we always just chop it up. And Drew hits me up. He's like, "You trying to do a podcast?" I was like, yeah, I'm about it. Like, you know, when you just say, yeah, I'm about it, but you just like, all right. Because I'm a shy person. I don't really like being in front of the camera, being behind the mic. I don't really like that.
I second that one.
But it was around Christmas time. I pull up to Drew's crib, give him a little present, and all of a sudden, he's just like, "You ready to record?" I was like, So I don't have no experience. He's the one with the experience, gives the opportunity. I'm like, all right, whatever, let's go. So that was we put out our first episode December 30th last year, and here we are. We're going on. We just passed our 10 months, and we just been riding with it, and it's been fun, man.
Everything's kind of been falling into place. Like you said, you started your first episode December 31st last year, and then beginning February, we started talking about creating the website.
And that's a funny story too, because I hit up Julian the night before at like 4 a.m, found this random free website maker, hit him up. I was like, "Hey bro, we got to make a website." So we're talking about it, nothing crazy. Next morning, neither of us talked to Alejandro.
Yeah.
He just hits us up, giving his whole thing like, "Look, I want to come back. I love it.
Let me use my marketing degree, bro. I just got a marketing degree.
From
Let me use it."
So I go to Drew. I'm like, it's meant to be like that. It's as simple as that. Like, we didn't even mention anything to him. 4 o'clock in the morning, I hit him up randomly. He's like, "Bro, go to sleep." Go to sleep.
And it's funny because kind of the circle around, the website that Brooklyn sent to me was Wix.com, which is in fact what the Jusachi website
that was when I first started trying to make it. It was
and
Wix.
That's why when he sent me that, I was like, "Listen, bro, I've already been through this once before.
Wix is not good.
No, it's not good."
And again, going back to the timing of everything, like this was February of this year. May of last year, I started working at a marketing agency, and that's when I started learning more about website creation and like content creation and like just everything that had to do with social media and like building your brand. And then February comes along, I'm like, "Wow, you guys are really doing something. You're committed to it. Like, you're doing the podcast again. Let me get back in this and contribute in the way I can. I just learned about this website. No Wix nonsense, nothing like that. Like it's straight on. I can like, we made this website from scratch. Like we bought the domain with like everything. Everything you see on the website, it's made from scratch. So it's just awesome to see the growth that we did. And now like we just keep growing. So it's crazy how, again, the timing just works. It couldn't work 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I couldn't make this website.
No.
But now it came back, and now it started, and everything's fallen into place.
I also think
it's great to see.
I also think that 3 years ago, like you said, you're working a lot. Even if like situations were ideal, I don't think that we were kind of in a mindset to really commit to something like this, where we do it every single week, sometimes more than once a week. And then apart from that, all the graphics that we make and the paying attention to what's going on. And I mean, we'll be at work and we get a text from Brooklyn, "Hey, can somebody make this? I'm working too," or vice versa, or "Look what just happened." And we run and we go make a graphic. And I don't think that 3 years ago, that's something that you and I would have even wanted to do.
For sure. No, for sure.
And
just like the knowledge that I got from like where I worked and like with creating the graphics and like kind of telling you guys about it, and like we all kind of learned from creating the graphics, and now we just we make our own style of graphics. Obviously we're all different, but it all joins together very nicely, and like for our social media. So it works. If two of us are working, the other one's free, we know the graphics still gonna be fine. And so like it's really good how we're doing it.
Yeah, it's great, man. And we get the like 3 different flavors of it. Like you said, everybody got their own style, and then especially when we all collab on one thing, it's great. Like it comes out beautiful, man.
Yeah,
three different flavors, 3 little stars on our logo. The stars are there for a reason, people.
Hey,
yeah. Come on, stop playing.
They're there for a reason.
You see it in the background over there.
Yeah, you see it.
And that's a funny little story too. So when we first started everything, Alejandro and I knew that, okay, if we're gonna do this, we have to make some semblance of a logo, right? And so we go on like every free app under the sun, because again, like I didn't even have a job at the time. You did, but you're like having to pay bills and all that. So we
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
really want to put money into something that we didn't necessarily have to.
Yeah.
So we get all these free apps, and we eventually come up with the original logo, which I have a sticker of somewhere around
I
here.
got you.
But yeah,
Show me
so
that
the
sticker.
original logo right there.
Say
It's
that.
the original and the new one.
Mhm.
And we just kind of took
Look
some,
at it.
right? And we were really proud
Wow.
of that because, again, it was something that we kind of made from a bunch
Yeah.
of.
And actually, the story about making that was I found this free app for the iPhone, and it was basically, I wouldn't say Photoshop app, but it's like you can layer different pictures on top of each other. And we literally got 3 different like clip art images. It was like a mic, and then just like an oval, and then like I forgot what
The
the third
chat
thing
thing
was.
and then like the levels. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just stacked them on top of each other, and that was the logo. And
Yeah.
then
And we had a little bit of foresight because we also made it so it was like the spectators with, and then we had like me and you,
mhm,
our names in like this cool like South Beach kind of cursive.
Mhm.
But we did that specifically so that if I wasn't on, we could do with, for example, Brooklyn and
yeah,
Alejandro, or Julian and Kale, or whoever else it might have been in the future. We kind of had at least a little bit of foresight there to like make it a little bit separate from the logo.
Yeah.
mhm,
And then when you rejoin us, we decided, all right, we're gonna have like a meeting and like figure out what like steps we're gonna have. And obviously, with everything happening, like our plan that we kind of laid out didn't necessarily
yeah,
happen because we had a lot of in-person things that we wanted to do, not just
Yeah.
us in person, but like going out to stadiums because we're in Tampa. So there are a lot of sports that we can go to, or go to Orlando, go to a soccer game, whatever it might
mhm,
be. And that kind of got derailed. But the one thing that did come from that meeting was we actually hand drew about 15 different
Yeah.
new logos
oh
because we
yeah,
wanted to
Weird.
rebrand and we wanted colors. So we figured out the colors first. And then we're like, all right, we need a new logo. We wind up hand drawing something pretty much like that. Like it came out
to
pretty close.
Pretty close.
to be fair, I don't want to make it seem like it was a smooth process. We had a lot of back and forth because we
Oh
were
yeah.
talking about like bleachers. We were talking about we had a lot of different ideas for the logo, and
A lot of different
and
colors too.
yeah, a lot
It
of
was
different
tough to
colors.
figure
Like
out the colors.
yeah, we were trying to do a lot, and like, but luckily it just kind of came together. And like after trial and error and just drawing a bunch, like you said, we drew so many different
Yeah.
logos. We finally kind of found one that kind of fit everything perfectly and just represented the spectators beautifully. I mean, look at that logo now. It's look at that
And
flag
big
right
shout
behind
out
Julian.
to J Pro Gaming. He made the logo
Yep.
for us. We sent it to him. This is what we want, and he gave it right back exactly how we wanted it. So big shout out to
It's
J
actually
Pro.
kind of crazy like that he did that. Again, I
Mhm.
want to give him a shout out as well.
Yeah.
I know
Big
he's
shout
really
out.
big into helping people make like Twitch logos and all that. So if streaming is something you're interested in, go check out J Pro Gaming on Twitter and Instagram.
Mhm.
He's a graphic designer. He's really, really good. And we literally gave him sent him a picture of the final draft of our drawing, and he literally made it exactly how we
Yeah.
Yeah.
had it in mind, like to a T.
Yeah. We were like, all right, we want this color here, that placement. All right, cool. Here you go. A couple hours later, boom.
Yeah.
A little fine tweaking, and that was it.
Yeah, it was actually
Perfect.
it was like kind of crazy how it was
Yeah.
like exactly what we wanted. It was almost like a little scary. We're just like, is that really like,
It just looks
yeah,
too nice. It's too
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And it's a
Yeah.
good transition from us, like that creating the logo was a great transition from us moving from a very just kind of hobby creating podcasts, like you said, whenever you came back or whenever we had time, to like, okay, this is getting kind of serious. We like invested some money. We like created this, like we did brand color guidelines, color schemes. We did all this stuff. And it's like, okay, we're creating something here. Like this is serious. And it just got the wheels kept on turning. And that's what led to the website. It's like, okay, let's do this website and let's add this stuff to the website. Like everything just falling into place. Unfortunately, COVID kind of stopped the process, but hey, we're still going
Yeah.
strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the main way that COVID kind of really hindered us, which I mean, if it didn't happen, who's to say that these things still happen the way they did? But when it comes down to it, to end the hockey season, we get the Stanley Cup that would have been hosted in Tampa. that would have been something that we would have gone out to, try to talk to people, get a couple of videos for, or whatever it might have been. The World Series, the Rays were in it, same kind of deal. And then the parades for the Lightning did win, Rays didn't, but say the Rays won, 2 different parades you could have been to also.
Was also the women's Final Four for March Madness was going to be here too. And then obviously we got the Super Bowl coming up as well.
Exactly. So. And I remember like being really upset that everything got canceled right away, because the women's Final Four was going to be a big deal for us. There was so much attention on women's college basketball, like the most that we've seen in a long, long time, just because of how like somebody like Sabrina Ionescu was doing. And then UConn was still really good. And there was like more attention than usual there. And so it just kind of turned into like, oh man, missed opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But, you know, we battled through however many months. It was like 2.5 months worth of no live sports content.
No content.
And, you know, I think that was really big for us in the long run, because that really tested us. It really put us in a position to make something out of nothing. And I think that helped us so much, because in my opinion, I think we strive through it. For being a sports podcast with literally no sports, like we had to go off of the home run race, 30 for 30, I believe, with McGuire, Sosa, the Last Dance with Jordan, stuff like that, the NFL draft, the Goodell's bat layer of a basement, like stuff like that was keeping us going.
And literally and also, like anything that we could kind of take.
And that, like, the difficulty of not being able to create podcasts and not having sports to talk about and so forth made us branch out. And with the creation of the website, we like had to create new ideas, which where the blogs came in. So like shout out to the writers that helped us, everything that was created. Like it forced us out of a bubble, and it also forced us to be like, hey, we're not just creating podcasts here. We're not just recording podcasts to post out there. We got to create content. Like, and content is with blogs, and it forced us to find people to create blogs, forced us to talk about different sports. Not saying that we wouldn't in the long run, but it branched us out. Like we started talking about surfing. We did the women's volleyball, I believe, and then just overall all the blogs that we had branched us out into not just a recording podcast like business, but like a whole brand, like the Spectators. Like everything just kind of started growing and growing and growing. It just, again, advancing from just recording podcasting.
Yeah, and like even with the content branching out, like you said, we were planning on like doing the Instagram, and it's funny how the Instagram even came about, because I got locked out of my Instagram. So I was like, all right, I don't have nothing to really like keep me in the sports loop. So I hit them up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make the Spectators Instagram. I'll run it, and let's go. So we all, even with the social medias, like all 3 of us, we all put out content. And then I picked up Photoshop, like making graphics.
Yes,
Alejandro taught me with Canva. We were using that early. So, like, it's just branching out and getting out of your comfort zone and just making stuff happen. And it's a true testament to what we've been able to do. And I'm proud of what we've been able to do.
For sure.
Yeah, and, you know, we are a sports podcast, obviously, like first and foremost. And eventually we do want to kind of branch out into music and movies and all that other type of stuff. We don't really want to limit ourselves. And that's why we do have other people kind of on our side and in our team as well. I mean, if you look at guys like August Howell, Cale Newton, Eric, who all contribute to those blogs that you mentioned. And then other guys that kind of just talk to us or communicate to us on social media and ask us questions and all that good stuff. So we have a lot of guys like with us kind of on our side.
Yeah.
But again, we're a sports podcast and we're all pretty big into sports, right? I know Brooklyn and I have a lot of similarities when it comes to sports and all that. Alejandro and I, and us, not so much when it comes to teams. But it is something that we've always been able to like be together with and watch. I know we've watched a lot of college football together, Alejandro and I. Me and Brooklyn have seen a lot of baseball and a lot of basketball together.
Man.
And I kind of want us to like tell everybody who we have as like our favorite teams, if there's any specific reason why, and kind of go into that just so like you have more of a connection to us. I know you kind of have an idea about me and Brooklyn, If you listen to the old stuff or know Alejandro personally, you have an idea. But if not, now's your opportunity. So, Alejandro, favorite teams. I know you're a big baseball, soccer, football kind of guy for the most part.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, yeah. For the most part, yeah. I think the biggest sport of my personal enjoyment is football. I start off with college football because we're good. I'm a Clemson Tigers fan. Reason being, I grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, 40 minutes away from Clemson, South Carolina. So growing up, I wouldn't say every Saturday, but a good amount of Saturdays throughout the year, every home game, I'd be tailgating with my family, go to the Clemson games. Just most home games that we could go, I was there. And it's just growing up in that Clemson atmosphere is just an incredible experience, seeing the games, going to Death Valley, rushing the field. Like, it just an amazing experience. And I'm a Clemson Tiger for life. Staying with the football in the South, like South Carolina didn't have an NFL team. North Carolina did, Carolina Panthers. So there's my connection to that. I go way back. I think the first memory of the Panthers, I think it was like 05, 06. That's when I first started like actually realizing that, like, okay, this is my team. But I'm throwing it all the way back to Jake Delhomme as quarterback. Jake Delhomme, that was my guy. I had
Did you have a phone of Jake Delhomme?
The Motorola came out with, the Razor phones, the flip phone that was super thin like a Razor, Motorola Razor. They did something with like the Carolina Panthers, and it was like a Carolina Panther blue Razor phone, and it had Jake Delhomme's signature on the back, So it's like, and I got that. My dad got me that, and I was just like, it was the best thing ever. So it was just awesome to have that. When it comes to baseball, that one, I like baseball, but I'm not a huge follower of baseball. So I'm a Red Sox fan, and which doesn't sit too well with all these Yankees fans in this chat right now. But the reason being for the Red Sox fan is my dad, he moved to Boston when he was younger, and he basically worked at the hotel across the street from Fenway Park for a long time. And he just became a straight up Boston Red Sox fan, and that just kind of grew on me. 03 is when I first was getting my memories of the Red Sox, and then 04 was for sure my first official, like, let's go Sox, that little comeback there and against the Yankees, no big deal.
Pain.
Whatever.
Pain.
No big deal. No big deal.
He had to throw that in.
Pain.
I had to throw that in. I respect
it.
But yeah, like I said, baseball isn't huge for me, but I am a Red Sox fan with my father. Soccer, I don't actually have like an actual soccer, team. I have been trying to get more into like the Premier League, and I'm going for Everton now. We got 2 Colombian players on Everton. I'm a Colombian, so I'm a straight up Colombian national team fan. I'm obviously USA as well. I don't pick and choose. I'm both.
I know you wore that Colombia jersey when you went to that game, though.
I did, but reason being is I went with all my friends to the Colombia USA game here in Tampa, and they're all USA fans. They all wear USA jerseys. I'm like, I'm gonna be the anomaly. Like, I'll go Colombia, bro. Like, either way, like, I was like, whoever wins. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a friendly. Like, it's not that serious. Like, either way, it's a win. But yeah, I wore the Colombia jersey. I had to commit. Dang, I can't remember. Let's see. What else? That's pretty much it. That's like my main teams that I follow. Like, I follow other sports, but those are like my teams that I go for.
Nice.
I gotcha. Is there any one particular player, it could be over any sport, that really has like resonated with you? I know you mentioned Delhomme. Whether it's him or anybody else that like resonated with you and kind of made you either like a team more or like grow towards a sport more or anything like that?
So I wouldn't necessarily say I have like certain players or a player that is like, just like my idol or something along those lines. But like you said, Jake Delhomme, it was the first, when I was first introduced to the Carolina Panthers, that was my quarterback. That's who we went through. Like that was my quarterback. But then it kind of changed when Cam Newton came along to the Panthers. Cam Newton was Superman. He was a whole different level. Like, he's still my quarterback. I know he's with the Patriots right now, but I got my Cam Newton jersey in that closet right now. I can grab and put on right now. I'm still repping Cam Newton. I love that guy. Like, Cam Newton was my breaking barrier into the Panthers, but no, I'm sorry. Jake Delhomme was my breaking barriers into the Carolina Panthers, but Cam Newton was my quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. As far as other players, I am trying to get more into basketball, and actually, thanks to Jew, I've been getting more and more into it. So this year, I've been following Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. So I've been following them. I'm trying to start liking them a little bit more. Might get a jersey soon. I'm enjoying their game. But I mean, Jimmy Butler and Miami Heat, like he's popping off. Like he's fun to watch. So for basketball, for me, it's more just who do I enjoy watching, not like a specific team or player, but I do love those two guys. That's pretty much it. I don't really have I wouldn't say I have like huge players that I follow, but those are like the main ones I can remember.
Team you hate the most of all sports, real quick.
Oof. NFL, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Very much dislike Dallas Cowboys. If they lost, I'd be happy.
Is it like when we make it big and we have a whole YouTube thing, are you just gonna go on Twitter like you're Stephen A and just kind of make it?
Yes. Yes. If it's I don't know, ESPN, they might copyright his whole laughing thing, bro. I don't know how they do it, trademark it or whatever. But if we ever get that big and Dallas loses, I am all about that, bro. I every time I see him laughing, I just retweet, and then I unretweet it a few days later, and then I
and then bring it back around.
Yeah, I bring it back around. I gotta make it sting a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why either. I just don't like Dallas. It's just something that kind of stuck with me.
It's probably all the attention they kind of get. That's like for our lives and watching sports unwarranted because they've been just not good.
Yeah. They're like America's team, but are they like?
Says
why?
Says
like what NBC and CBS on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
like that's about it.
Just because they play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
the Lions play on Thanksgiving too. So what does that mean, right? What is that?
That's also strange. Yeah.
Facts.
I mean, who else could you get for Thanksgiving? And it is coming up. I wonder. I haven't.
I mean, it's always the Lions and it's always the Cowboys, and then they've added a third game recently.
And then you sprinkle in an NFC East team in there.
Yeah.
And
then
I think that's what the third game kind of becomes now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington or something like that.
Yeah.
Oof. NFC East.
It's going to be real good this year.
I saw a stat.
I'm going to be watching the commercials this year.
Yeah, I saw a stat from ESPN. It was like the 8-0 Pittsburgh Steelers have less of a probability to win their division than the 4-3-1 Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC East. And that's just crazy to me. I think Philadelphia has like a 76% chance of winning their division, and the Steelers only have like a 71% chance. And I'm just,
what? That makes no sense. They tied.
They tied
like crazy. The Bengals too. Like, ugh.
They did tie that shit. Joe Burrow.
So, what's your team history, Drew? Give them a little taste of it.
So, obviously, we've talked a lot over the last couple of weeks. Yankee fans. We're really big Yankee fans. That's probably the team that I like most closely follow. Because in high school and throughout middle school, I was a baseball player and played like at a pretty decently high level for like travel ball. We traveled to a lot of different states and all that stuff. So baseball is something that I really enjoy, partially because I played it and I kind of get like a lot of the intricacies of the game. And all the
Juice, sorry to interrupt. I want to go off that traveling baseball, bro. Do you remember South Carolina?
Yes.
That was another thing that kind of brought Julian and I close during high school. Well, not one of them because we were already close for this to happen.
I mean, obviously it happened. So we were.
Yeah, we were already close, but we went to Columbia, South Carolina for your travel team, and I just rode with you and watched those games. That was a fun time. That was a fun experience, bro.
Yeah, that was I was with the Indiana Prospects at the time, and so shout out to all the Indiana Prospects. JJ Bleday was on that team. He was the third overall pick for Miami. So this was like a good team. These had some studs, and me, my mom, and Alejandro, we just drive. I think we get a rental car too, right?
I'm not sure. I just drove. I just got in the car and drove.
I think
he was just along for the ride.
I was just there for the ride.
He didn't get where you were going.
I don't remember how we did it, but we drive all the way from Tampa to Columbia, South Carolina, and we go to a hotel that we made like a light reservation with. We didn't pay anything, and we get there and it was just like awful. There was like holes in the walls. We saw like rats and stuff. So we're just like,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
it was
Yeah,
like
I remember
scary. It
that.
felt like a haunted hotel. And
Yeah,
so we
I didn't
literally
even
like,
see it. I stayed in the car. I was just chilling in the car, waiting for you guys to get
and
back.
it's like
You guys got
midnight.
back. We drove off. I said, "Oh, okay, we're not
Yeah,
staying here, huh?"
we get out. We're like, hey, can we see a room? And they show us a room, and it was just like,
Not it.
so we leave and we find like some random motel that'll take us, and it was 100 times better. And they had free breakfast. I think that was one of our things we were really looking for.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a baseball tournament. We played like 2 or 3 games a day, and that was just one of those really, really like fun times for us. We went with Conrado because our buddy Conrado was on that team with us, and we went and we like went to like this random river in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere, like just this completely like isolated like little creek river thing. And we go there, we go like exploring on a mini little hike. I almost forgot about that actually. There's a picture of that somewhere of us.
It's somewhere, but I have it. Can you pull it up in the screen? Is that a way? Can we do that yet with the editing?
We could. I just don't have it. I just don't have the accessibility. Maybe in the edit for the YouTube, we can maybe bring that up. We'll see what we can do. And yeah, that was a really fun time. And so again, baseball was obviously a big deal. If we're driving all the way up there, like we obviously care. So big Yankee fan. It's easy too when we were kids, they were just so dominant. I mean, Derek Jeter, Posada, Pettit, like yeah, exactly. Like we had so many guys. A-Rod. For basketball, I'm a Knicks fan more so out of like just what my dad was when I was young. They were pretty good with like Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, Spreewell, John Starks. And so I know we used to go to a lot of Knicks games because my mom had like a boss who had tickets. So we would just go. I was like a little kid. They were just, I don't even think they had to pay for me. I was that little. And for basketball, or not basketball, that is basketball. For football, I'm a Vikings fan. Again, kind of my dad grew up a Vikings fan because of like their version of fantasy football is like the easiest way to describe it. When he was young, they picked the full team and like went with that team for the full season. The Vikings were really, really good with Fran Tarkenton. And so we're just Vikings fans now. And then for college, I used to be a really big Syracuse Orange for basketball fan. And it was Syracuse and St. John's because those are like the schools that were like good. And I remember they were the close ones, so I liked them a lot. And then as we got like closer through high school, and you guys were like there to kind of see it kind of happen, all of a sudden I started really like looking at Oregon and Boise State. And for they played each other one year in football, and I was never into college football. That was like the first game I like watched. And there was like a brawl with like Garrett Blunt. And for some reason that game stuck with me. And I've been following those 2 teams ever since. Fast forward 3 years.
Crazy to think. Yeah, like you're about to say, you went to college to Oregon. One game. You watched one game and you became an Oregon fan. And then 3 years later, you just went to Oregon. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to become like that. I wind up going there. Like I wanted to go to Miami. Wound up not getting into Miami, and then it was kind of this whole thing of like I don't really want to go to USF. I didn't want to go to Florida State because it was kind of just like an extension of high school to an extent, where so many people that we know went there, which isn't a bad thing. It was just not what I wanted. Like I wanted to go out and like see stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it just kind of happened to work that like I got on the Oregon, and that was like the school of the bunch that I wanted to go to. And so those 3 years leading up to me actually committing to go there was just like, that's like a funny little thing how sports kind of influence that. And I go to Oregon and meet just like the best people that I know outside of you guys. And it's crazy how like literally watching that LeGarrette Blunt game and like him throwing a punch at somebody has led me to like my best friends in life, like Nick. And all. It's crazy. It really is.
You
kind
gotta
of cool
love it.
How like little
That's
things
sports.
that you literally a click of a channel can like change your life. It's crazy.
That's facts.
And so like I guess I never really thought about it this way, but if we're gonna say like sports hero, like I made Alejandro say, I'm gonna go with like LeGarrette Blunt being one of them. I guess, right? I guess.
He got you into college,
right? I
well, not
didn't
got
really.
you into college, but he recruited you to
He
Oregon.
prodded
basically.
me in the right direction, right?
Shout out LeGarrette Blunt.
Shout out. But the real one would probably have to be Jeter.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think he's like a really overrated player, and he probably is to an extent. Wasn't really necessarily good defensively, but there was just something about when Jeter came up and there was like a big situation, you knew something good was going to happen. And it almost felt like, tell me if I'm wrong about this, Brooke, it almost felt like he was a superhero to an extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because just like the things he did were really mundane, but then when it mattered the most, he did what he needed to.
Yeah, like you mentioned, he's not the best defensively, and it's definitely agreeable, but a lot of his highlights and like best moments are defensive plays.
Yeah.
Flipping the ball to Posada, the Jeter jump throw in the hole, falling into the stands. Like some of his biggest plays were all defensive plays, just in big moments.
Yeah.
So
when
you
there's
see
such big
like
plays,
that,
you just mentioned them, and I just pictured the highlight in my head.
Like I get
you
chills.
you said those three, and I just
exactly.
And coming from a Red Sox fan, I hated playing the Yankees. I hated playing the Yankees. It was awful. Not because I'm not gonna say that you guys were better than us. No way. I'm not gonna say that. But Red Sox Yankee games were always incredible to watch. They're always gonna be fun to watch. And I remember watching them growing up. I would have different mindsets. Basically, if there's men on base and Jeter was up, I got scared. Same with Posada. If he got on, there's people on base, I got scared. A-Rod, I didn't like A-Rod. Never have, and I think he's overrated. I don't like him. I was never scared of him. I'm gonna say it. I was never scared of him. But
Numbers
the one player, he's retired, but I always hated to see him in the game. Mariano Rivera. I hated seeing him. If we're playing the Yankees, Red Sox Yankees, and it's the top of the eighth, top of the ninth, or if you guys are away, so it's the bottom of the eighth, bottom of the ninth, and I see Rivera, I'm
just turn it off.
I'm just like, I'm not gonna turn it off, but I'm just like, man.
And then the next half inning starts, and you hear Enter Sandman start. And you're like,
like it'd be like 9-8 Yankees, and it's going into the bottom of the ninth. We're at home. I'm like, let's go, it's fine, whatever. Then they cut from commercial. They show the clip of Mariano walking from the bullpen. I'm just like, oh man, just get one hit, just get one hit. And then nope, he would just smoke. I'm not gonna say all the time, but a good 80-90% of the time, he would just strike out. And I'm just like, man, it was rough times. I hated seeing him on. Incredible player though, incredible player. I'm not gonna talk hate, but just incredible. He was scary. I hated seeing him.
That's what I love about the Yankee Red Sox rivalry. Like, obviously, we hate each other, hate like all that, but you can still respect and appreciate the players that have worn both uniforms. Like Big Papi, obviously, gotta hate him. He's on the Red Sox, but he was one of my favorite players.
But Big Papi.
Exactly. He was one of my favorite players.
Exactly. I like
and then guys like Pedro too, who just
Pedro, love him.
He wanted to like bite off the Yankees' heads every time he pitched.
Yeah,
it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
and then
it was crazy, man.
Absolutely.
They're just such historic and great teams that even though the rivalry causes the hate, it's just like they're good. And I think that's like for me personally, I feel like that's another thing that kind of increased my hatred. It's like, like why are they good, bro? I just want to smoke them every time. I just want to beat them.
Yeah.
But it's always like 50-50, or 1 year one team will be better than the other, but still it's just like back and forth. And it's like it's never a guarantee. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
Well, and then one cool thing about it too is that like there's so much like animosity that you like study the other team a little bit too. Yeah. So there was a point when both teams were really good, say like 2005 to like 2009, where Yankee fans just know the Red Sox lineup maybe more than the Yankee lineup.
I honestly, that's correct. As a Red Sox fan, I would follow the Yankees. I wouldn't say as much as the Red Sox, but I would follow the Yankees because it was during that time stretch, like 04 to 09, like you said, it was no hate against Orioles and Toronto and all that and the Rays. But during that stretch, the AL East was basically Yankees versus Red Sox. Whoever won out their games, like whoever won the margin of the games for that season, won their division. And it was just head to head. Whoever won, that won that division. That's what was so important.
Yeah.
I would be watching Red Sox game, but also having the Yankees Gamecast on my phone, MLB.com, and Yankees Gamecast on because I need them to lose because we're down by half a game or we're up half a game or it's like a game and a half we're out. It's just like, these are important. I need you guys to lose. So it's just like knowing who, like your roster and knowing who's coming up to pitch. It's like, I didn't purposely do it, but subconsciously I'm just like, okay, this. Like I kept stats on them.
Yeah. How about you, Burke? What's your the slight differences? There's more now than there used to be, but differences in teams and who do you like and why?
So when it comes down to which sports I've liked, I'm a typical just baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Like I watch soccer and I'm trying to get into golf, but nothing like
the Masters. The Masters is going on right now. Or I don't know when this episode is going to come out, but the Masters is going on as of when we listen to this or when we're
we do know we have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So Paul Casey. That's my golfer right there. That's my dog.
Yeah, so like I don't really follow them too closely, but like my favorite sport, it fluctuates. Like I've grown up loving baseball. I'm from New York and grew up in New York. So obviously basketball is just deep integrated within me. Football I love. Hockey, my dad was huge into hockey, almost went to college, pros, all that. So that's where my love for hockey came in and why I'm so deeply into that. But obviously Yankees, I'm big into. I really, really started like loving the team in 2009 because randomly I ended up just chilling at my dad's restaurant that we used to have in Brooklyn. And one of our longtime customers and regulars came in one day. He was like, going to the game tonight? No, I'm not going to the game. Well, you're going now. It ended up being game 6 of the ALCS in 2009 when we went to win the World Series. And that was a game clinching.
So is that against the Rays?
No, that was against the Angels. Game 6.
Yeah,
they win that game, and then they go on to play Philly in the World Series. Just randomly had tickets to that. So end up going there. That just solidified my Yankee love right there. I used to be a Knicks fan, but we all know that. But once I found out that the news that Brooklyn was getting a team, I was like, all right, once they get there, I have to. Like the Dodgers, when they were in Brooklyn, obviously in the 50s, they leave. So I didn't have a Brooklyn team. So me just being so deeply integrated with Brooklyn, I had to. It was only right.
Hence the 100%. Nickname, by the way. Hence the nickname.
Yeah.
Your nickname is literally Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I mean, when
a Knicks fan,
when he moved down here from Brooklyn, I think one of the teachers gave you that, right?
Nah, I pull up at the homeroom in 7th grade, and I believe it was Wyatt. Shout out Wyatt.
Wyatt Martin.
Wyatt Martin. Shout out Wyatt. So we're all in a homeroom, and everybody's asking the new kid, like, "Where you from?" Brooklyn. All right, that's your name. By 3rd period, all of Burns Middle School knew who I was. You Brooklyn? Yeah. What's up? Literally just the whole school. And I was like, all right, well, cool. What's popping? So, yeah, shout out Wyatt, man.
That's funny. Just like a comment kind of creates a persona.
Yeah, it just snowballed. And literally, random people were coming up to me. My first day, you Brooklyn? Yeah. What's up? Cool. So, yeah, used to be a Knicks fan, had to make the switch once I found out that was happening. I used to be a Giants fan, but I wanted to go against my dad with something because we were both Yankees, Rangers, Giants. So I was like, all right, so 2007, Giants win the Super Bowl. Very next day, I'm like, all right, I'm a Jets fan.
Nope.
Ask me how that went, but shout out.
How'd that decision go, bro? How's that been going?
So it is
okay.
It is what it is. I'm not okay. It's been pain, a lot of pain, but shout out Gangrene. It is what it is. So I want to go against him in that. So I got the short end of the straw, but
I mean,
whatever.
That's a tiny straw to begin with.
Hey, man, look, it is what it is.
You can't even.
It is what it is.
It's not even helping you with a water bottle, bro.
No. It's not.
Put it too far down.
Bro. It's just a ring. It's that short of a straw. It's just a little ring.
It's Eli's ring.
Oh no.
Eli's ring. You got
Which
two
one?
of them. You
Which
got
one?
two.
And it's bad that I switch after the first Super Bowl. So
Because then they get another.
I got to sit there and watch them again win the Super Bowl. But I'm not a fan that time. Like, I'm always going to cheer for New York because, I mean, it is what it is. But, like, I'm not sitting there with a giant jersey cheering them on. So it was tough. It was tough. Then, like I said, big Ranger fan. And when it comes to, like, college sports, I'm big on Syracuse. Like, I can remember one time me and Jew were chilling with Anthony. Shout out Anthony.
Yeah.
And Tyler Ennis ends up hitting a buzzer beater. I think it was against Pitt.
It was against Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah. And we went nuts in this like community center.
That was a funny one too, because we were just hanging out with Anthony and we were trying to go to the pool or something like that. And he had like one of those community pools with like a gym in it. And we didn't want to go into the pool yet because we wanted to finish watching the game.
And that was when they were undefeated.
Yeah. This was like Syracuse's really, really good season.
Yeah.
2016. No, 2013 or something like that.
Yeah, we were still in school at that time.
Yeah, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I just remember us going crazy.
Oh.
We went because that was the year Anthony Davis was on Kentucky, because Kentucky was also really good, and I remember going back and forth at number one with them that year.
Yeah,
kind of crazy how that kind of things. And that Syracuse team wound up underperforming in the tournament.
Yeah,
and then a couple of years later, when they were trash, they wound up making the Final Four out of nowhere.
It was just weird. It was just really weird.
Before we go, I know we've been talking a while, but it's been a lot of fun. I do want to get one more thing in here.
What's up?
I want to know everybody's single best in-person sports experience. Whether it's you playing, whether it's you being somewhere, whether it's a video game, like in-person, you being part of it experience. I know I'm putting you on the spot. So I'm going to start with mine then, since I'm putting you on the spot, all right? So for me, there's two, and they both involve being at Oregon, right? One of them is we were on spring break. We kind of happened to be in the right place, right time. Oregon was really good. This one we had Dylan Brooks and a really good team. We beat Kentucky, and we're at like a tilted kilt, like watching Kansas. We're at the tilted kilt watching the game. We win that game, and we're stressing because they were the number one seed. And we're like, so we're in the Final Four now. We're students. We can go, right? And so we figure out plans. We take Chloe's car and we just drive to Phoenix. And we were in LA, so it was like a 5-hour-ish drive. And we just all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, our spring break turned into just staying in LA. And now it's like, hey, we're spending a long weekend at Phoenix. And that was like an incredible. And we wound up losing that game, but it was such like an experience. It was one of those like kind of movie moments where it's like, oh, this opportunity came and we're doing it. And
that's sick. Yeah, that's sick.
And then the other one, a little quicker, Oregon, Washington. Washington was a higher rank than us in Autzen Stadium. They had beaten us the year or two in a row before after a long stretch of Oregon winning and beating the Huskies. This is our bitter rival. We iced them twice at the end of the game because they were going to kick a game-winning field goal. Iced them twice, which you're only allowed to do in college, and he misses the second kick. And I remember before the kick goes through, I'm saying, I don't care if he makes it. We iced him twice. This is electric. I'm just going nuts. And he misses it. I have never seen a collective group of people lose their minds like I did that, like right there. I've never been in a situation with like an energy like that. There's a video of it somewhere that Nick took. Incredible. Absolutely.
I actually remember that game. I remember that game because that was only a couple years ago, right? It was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was only a couple years ago. I was at my job, and I was serving, and I was watching the game, the whole entire game. I was just kind of like back and forth, working game. And I knew you were there because you were sending Snapchats, and I was like, so I knew you were there. And I was watching the game, and it got close. And then I remember that Washington was going to kick the field goal. And I was like, oh. All right, that's it right there. So I was trying to watch it, but then something happened. The table got up or something, and so I had to go to the table. And I got back, and he made it, but there was a timeout, but I didn't know. So I was like, "What's going on?" So there's a timeout. I'm like, "Okay, all right, whatever." And then I continue watching it, and then again something happens to where I have to go to another table, and I come back, and there was the second timeout, the second ice. So I was like, oh, okay, so I get to watch this kick for a third time. Let's go, finally get to watch it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, dang, I think he made the first two.
He did.
And then he went for the kicked it, and he missed it. And I was just like, oh, snap. And I immediately FaceTime you. And all I get, it was a 15-second FaceTime. And all I get is you answered it. I don't know how miraculously that you answered it. I don't know
because there's no service in Austin. There's thousands of people. There's no service.
He missed the game-winning field goal. Like, you're going nuts. This is in Oregon. So for some miraculous reason, you answered. And all I see for 15 seconds, I saw Nick for the first 6 seconds just screaming at the phone. And then you just pointed it at the crowd, and just the stands going crazy. My mic on my phone or my speaker on my phone going just berserk with how loud it is. And I was just like, oh my God, I guess he knows they won. And then that was in the call, and I'm like,
well, we didn't win off that either. That was just to get to overtime is the best part.
Yeah, then you won in overtime. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
And then we wound up winning in overtime, and we stormed the field. That's the only time we've ever stormed the field or the court or anything like that at Oregon. There was one other time we could have, but we were on winter break for basketball, so it didn't work out. But we stormed the field, and that was just like it felt like an actual party, like a block party, because they were just playing music, and you could stay there. It was like an hour long. They were just playing music, like somebody got aux.
That's crazy.
Players and students, and like there was guys just fresh off the game, just sitting there dancing and talking to people. Like they didn't even go back to the locker room right away.
Because they were going to have a bigger party on the field and in the locker room. So they had to.
It was nuts. That was like – there's like a picture of me and Nick that we were trying to take like on the O, and then like some drunk mom comes up and like joins us in the picture. That's out there somewhere. And that was just something else. I know it was a long-winded response to my own question, but
so I'm going to give you a quicker one. I got two also. One's obviously the Game 6 ALCS. Like we win that game, and just the atmosphere after, just everybody screaming, walking to the trains, just going nuts. Like I'll never forget that feeling, because I don't remember how old I was, but I was young, and to be at
2009. So what were you, like 13?
Something like that. And that was my first time at the new stadium. Like I've been to the old Yankee Stadium. That was my first time at the new stadium. So just to randomly pull up to a World Series clinching game, it don't get no better than that.
Right.
It don't get no better than that.
Yeah. That was just random.
And the second one is actually one of me playing. When I was playing baseball, shout out to Parkville, back in Brooklyn. My coach has got a new car, parked in the outfield on the street on the sidewalk. And I'm up to bat. So all of a sudden, I square it up, and it's just going. It's going, and goes right through his windshield. Hit a home run.
Brand new car?
Brand new car.
Oh.
Brand new car. Ball goes right through the windshield. I start rounding the bases. I have a line of sight as I'm rounding third, and I just give him the Jordan shrug, like,
oh, no.
I don't know what you want from me, coach. Like,
too much. You gotta walk around with a parrot on your shoulder after you hit the home run.
So I'm just rounding third, give him the Jordan shrug. He wasn't happy. He didn't care that I just took the lead for the game. He did not care.
Why'd he park there?
That's what I was trying to tell him. Not even across the street. It was on the close side of the sidewalk, right over the fence. Right over the fence.
And shouldn't be parking there anyways.
He didn't think you had the mustard.
Nope.
You had the mustard.
Nope. So that's my second one.
How about you, Alejandro?
It's my turn.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Yeah, plenty of time to think that. You've had 4 stories.
I did have time to think, and memorable moments like that I don't have. I haven't been to any games where it's been like, an important game or like just like an incredible like play or something like that. So I don't really have a moment for that. I think I can break it down to like 2 events kind of.
Well, just like, here's a better way to ask it. When you think of like the first or second thing that you think of when you think the most fun you've had at a sporting event,
like wow,
or participating in one, like just the one that comes to mind.
Not watching one, at one.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you one of each. I'll give you one at a sporting event and then one watching. The one watching was 2017 Clemson, Alabama, the second round of the college football playoff.
That was the one in Tampa.
That was the one in Tampa. I couldn't go, so I didn't go to the game, and so I was just watching it at home. And my dad, he worked early shifts his whole life, so he'd be up at 2 in the morning, 1 morning to get ready for work. But so he couldn't watch the Clemson game. So I was watching the national championship, and it was a stressful, just all around stressful.
That was the Hunter Renfrow game winner game, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So the memory was that last drive. Alabama drove down and scored. We were up. It was back and forth game the whole game. Bang, 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 back and forth, back and forth. And Alabama had a drive. And I knew deep down that they were going to score. I knew Alabama was going to go in there and score. I was hoping they would score quick because I wanted as much time as possible for us to go down and score the game-winning one. And I didn't think they would because you're just like, no, just go down, run the clock down, and then score a touchdown and you win. Because Alabama's good. I'm not going to take any credit away from them. They're amazing. They're an amazing team, especially back then. And they went down, and then something happened. I forgot what the play it was, but they broke free, and he just ran and scored a touchdown. And there was still like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And it just, after that, it was the drive. The whole drive was just back and forth. I was texting you, Drew, during that whole drive.
Yeah, and I remember
I was on a stream.
Yeah.
So you were like 5 seconds ahead of me, and on a legal stream, and you were just 5 seconds ahead of me. And so you were like, you didn't spoil anything, but you would send like exclamation marks or something, and I'd be like, oh. So I'm watching the whole drive, and it's just going down. And then finally, the last play, the Hunter Renfrow, 3 seconds left, little pick and roll, boop, touchdown, and it was over, and it was crazy. I was going berserk because this was a long game, so it was almost 1 in the morning when this.
I remember calling you right after. We went nuts.
Yeah, so it was an awesome game, and then the memory was actually after winning, my dad woke up, and I just ran in the kitchen. I just jumped on and said, "We won. It's over." And he's like, "Shut up! Your mom and sister are sleeping." I'm like, "I don't care. We just won. We just beat Alabama." So that was a good one. And then another one, I'll throw it back to actually me playing. Year, I don't know exactly. Maybe 03, 04, 2003, 2004. YMCA flag football, not little league, whatever they call it.
Pee-wee.
And Pee-wee flag football at the South. I forgot what city in South Carolina it was, but it was the local YMCA. And we had a game, and for some reason, I was running back. That was my position when I was a kid. I was running back. Even though I'm 6'3" now, for some reason, I was running back when I was a kid. And it was towards like the end of the game. I don't even know the score. It's just YMCA flag football. But it felt big for me. As a little kid, it felt big. And we were down, and it was a little like, I don't even know. It was just a running play. I was in the backfield. Next thing I know, he gave it to me. And I ran completely sideways, and I ran to the sideline, and they were chasing me. And one had a chance at grabbing, but he grabbed my shirt and missed. I did a little 90-degree turn, and I ran down that sideline. Just, I was gone, bro. I hit the speed.
He was out of there.
My coach was on that sideline. Yeah, my coach was on that sideline, and he was just kind of not jogging. I was pretty fast. He was putting a little step to it. And he was like, go. And I was just like, okay. And then I scored. That was my favorite play as a kid playing. That was my favorite play memory right there.
That was dope.
I won a trophy too. A little.
Let's go. You got the trophies. Hey, trophy's a trophy.
Yeah.
Trophy is a trophy. That's great though.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that we can make a lot more memories like that.
Yeah.
Got a lot of sports that are going to be back on like normal-ish schedule now.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully. There's been talks that the Raptors might come to Tampa for next season. So if that happens, Tampa got a basketball team for a little bit.
And just know the Spectators going to be there.
Yeah. If fans are allowed,
Yes,
we will make an appearance. So,
Same with the Super Bowl. If for some reason the virus starts going down a little bit, and we're capable of going to the Super Bowl in Tampa, oof.
Yeah,
you'll see us there.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to doing a lot of stuff with the fans, man. But
whenever that's allowed again,
we need the facilities to do it. That's all. So
exactly. So, hopefully in the coming time, we'll be able to go places together and watch some of these games and kind of make some more of those memories that we'll eventually have another episode like this in 5 years and be able to recap or something like that, you know? And, but Alejandro, I know you're a busy man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'll be back. This is fun.
Absolutely. Like this is definitely
easy.
something that we would
fun.
like to have you on more often. Just maybe even just part of a normal episode. Like that would be something.
I was thinking that it was going to be a normal episode. I like where it went, but I was prepared. I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? We got the Masters coming up. We got football. We got all this. I'm like, okay, I got to be ready. But it was nice. You eased me into the podcasting thing again.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'll for sure be back. This was fun. Yeah, this was fun. I'll be back for a regular scheduled episode.
Absolutely. And we'll love to have you with the OG Spectator. Would be great to have.
We'll use the old Spectators logo that day. Little TBT.
Little TBT, the nostalgia. Only 90s kids remember.
Yeah, we can. What was the thing we used to do at the end of every episode? The
Smart or Stupid, which we still do sometimes. We still do it sometimes. We've gotten away from it, but
those were the good old days, bro. We would take like 20 minutes trying to figure out what was a good smart or stupid question. Good old days.
We do the same thing now.
We're moving forward. We are moving forward.
Yeah,
it's just the beginning, folks. It's just the beginning.
Absolutely.
And again, thank you to everybody who's been showing love, supporting. We appreciate it because we can't do nothing without you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys drive us.
And so if you want to, catch all of our content, all of our episodes, another episode like this with Alejandro in the future, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter @_The Spectators. Go search us up on YouTube, The Spectators. Give us a subscription. You'll probably be watching this on there because this video is going to be on YouTube. Absolutely.
Yep.
And just as much as every other episode from now on will be as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, on podcast streaming sites, we're probably there. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, for listening.
Don't forget, this is the man responsible for the website, thespectatorsports.com. Go check it out. Enjoy it. Everything you find on our socials, on our YouTube, you're going to find there. And you're going to get the blog. So go get a nice read and check out what he did. He did a good job on it, man. He did his thing. So, again.
Boys, I just want to say my AirPods died, so I couldn't hear anything of that last part. I don't know if you guys said bye or not. I for sure need a mic and some headphones, so I need to get that for the next episode.
Can you hear us right now?
I can't hear you. I just see laughing. So this will be my goodbye. Godspeed, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'll be back. All the fans, I love you. I'll see you guys again. Peace out, guys.
Later, everybody.
Later, everybody.
I'm just going to leave. Is that cool? All right.